everything's going to fall.
You
ready?
Limelight. How do you use this thing? Actually, I'm just going to use the pinch. There we go.
Your notes will be right there. Good morning, everybody. I said good morning, everybody. Hey, there they are. They're awake. Knew I'd wake them up. Yeah. That's cool. Multipath interference is always fun. Awesome. So, step one. Forget this here. I'm going to hand it to you. Step one, cell phones. Turn them off, please. Or silence. Go off. We've got big people waiting outside to bring you out of this room and hurt you.
Really tough.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Right. Hopefully you guys know your ballroom C. This is the anything track. If that's not what you came to see, you're in no place to go. Right now, go fast. You don't want to be here. We're talking SecOps. We're talking the ever-changing landscape with all these cool new technologies like Google Cloud. So, without further ado, we've got Ricardo Lafosse and Matthew Speakman. Give it up to these guys.
All right, well, thanks for being here. Is this on? Yeah? Cool. Awesome. All right, my name's Ricardo Lafosse. This is Matt Speakman.
Hello, everyone.
So we're going to talk about Cloudy the... This is going to be awesome. Cloudy the chance of... Hello? Okay. We're talking about Cloudy the chance of SecOps. Before, legal did yell at me, so everything we're saying here is on our own recognizance. This has nothing to do with our company, so we're going to be talking about shit. See, now I can say shit and horrible, horrible stuff without legal yelling at me. Boom, official. All right, I'm the Chief Information Security Officer for Morningstar Financial. I've been in InfoSec for about 16 years. I'd like to do my fun facts. I have 5 crazy children, 5 dogs, 2 cats, 30 fish, and 2 roaming turtles I always step on creepily at night.
My name is Matt Speakman. I've been in InfoSec for about 5 to 6 years. I have 1 cat. That's it.
And also, I want all of you to be extra nice and exuberant. This is Mr. Matt's first time ever public speaking outside of work. Yay, Matt! So I'm also going to make him do most of the heavy lifting. All right, real quick about Morningstar. We're a global company, about 5,800 employees in 27 countries, about $1 billion revenue. Just kind of give perspective that I'm not working a crazy little vacuum with 20 employees. That's pretty much why I put that there. Why are we here? Why do we care? I've been to a lot of cloud talks, as many of you have been as well. A lot more bland, repetitive cloud talks, and watch you guys call us bland, repetitive as well, which you might, and that's fine. We have a lot of boots-on-ground experience. We did a giant cloud transformation about 2 years ago to re-platform most of our applications. By most, I mean 30% of our applications to be cloud first. So we have a lot of horrible war stories behind that. Security education isn't everything. You can bitch and moan and tell people to take the training, cloud this, cloud that, but unless you have actionable controls, it's really hard to grab that adoption. And then actionable takeaways. And then, no, wrong button, sorry. All right, why do you care? SecOps lives in dumpster fires. any given time, no matter what. You have this beautiful project plan. Nope, you're in the hole. Cloud will eventually be your problem, even if it isn't currently. I came from DHS where everything's mainframe. Yes, the cloud was there in small instances. So we're getting there. You came from Malort. Yes, I do have Malort with me because some of you may have come from Malort. It's in my book bag, and I also took one of those weird little cups from the hotel where you put the waffle mix in. So I have waffle mix cups that you can put Malort in. So I got you.
You'll know how many waffles worth of Malort you're drinking.
Yeah. It's pretty awesome. All right, and we're here to help. I want this to be very open. If we're talking about some stuff and you don't want to wait to end, just raise your hand. I'll come run down there and you can ask your question. So I want this to be as interaction as possible. All right, traditional SecOps model. I'm not going to spend too much time here. All of you know the flow. You get your alerts, go monitoring, you do your investigation, blah, 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 blah. This pivots significantly when you start moving your processes to the cloud. And I'm also a big fan of Soundwave because he's awesome. But anyways, we had to retool a lot of our SecOps processes to be very cloud first. I don't know why I did the on-prem and cloudy icons. Rumble should have actually been there. I got called out already this morning about that. But nonetheless, loss of visibility and control. This is a cultural change and also a way that you need to retool a lot of your processes. Using CloudTrail is very similar to using review and syslog files, but you need to learn how to do it differently. Serverless is a very big, different change for a lot of people when they're moving from on-prem to the cloud. Your traditional AV agents are not there, or if you have DLP, it's not there. It's quasi-ephemeral. So being able to retool for serverless environments. Eventually, my first year here, I was like, what am I going to do with a Lambda function? I can't secure a Lambda function. And then starting to learn how to put controls and governance around Lambda functions is really key there. And dynamic by design. The old school ACLs where it's IP address, when you change that from on-prem to account instead of IP address is also a big learning change, specifically on the networking team, where they're traditional CIDR to CIDR or host to host is a big fundamental change that infrastructure had to go through as well. And environmental controls are key. Outside of your overall environment, you need to understand that working in the cloud has a lot of misconfiguration issues that could cause significant interruptions to your environment. We know all the S3 open buckets, blah, blah, blah. But that's now part of your responsibility as well. And talking about responsibility, working in the cloud is a shared environment where you work with your developers, your own team, and also whatever your cloud provider, and we're primarily AWS. AWS has their own stack that they take care of, and you need to learn how to work interactively with them, specifically during IR engagements. All right, a little bit about our environment. We have a crap ton of accounts for no good reason, except AWS told us to do it this way. In actuality, it helps reduce our blast radius in case one of the accounts does get popped. They're all small enclaves, but that also is a pain in the ass from a licensing perspective, which my good friend here, Matt, will talk about. Handful of VPCs, 8 regions, crap ton of buckets, blah, blah, blah. More importantly, our AWS organization, we have a master account, and then there's multiple accounts right below that. That's how we govern a lot of our controls and monitoring across the organization. And for those that are not familiar with the shared responsibility model, the customer or what we're responsible is in blue, and then Amazon takes care of the rest. And being able to understand where those roles and responsibilities are clearly defined, specifically with your infrastructure folks and also your security operations folks is really key. We've been on many investigations where, oh shit, I don't know what's going on with the NACLs, and it's a downstream issue on a VPC, and I don't know who will call on Amazon. That should never happen. You should have those rules of engagement ironed out. And talking about rules of engagement, I'm done talking.
Hey, everyone. Elaborating further on that shared responsibility model, we kind of made our own little bit of a shared responsibility model. So in the red here is kind of what we as a SecOps, as an infrastructure team, kind of take care of for our customers, which are now our developers. So a lot of the things that we control are like CloudTrail. We make sure that it's turned on. We make sure that it's running. We control all the VPC and networking, the firewall NACLs. We actually control our AMI. There's very, very, very few AMIs that are not ours out there. We control guard duty. We control access to the Amazon account through federated access through ADFS, and we give our developers 2 specific roles that they can log in as, trying to kind of model off of like least privilege, right? So we have an operator account, and then we have an admin, an operator role and an admin level role. They kind of control the rest. They control all the blue. They can build up as many servers as they want. They can use as many lambdas as they want. They're, for now, in charge of encryption. We are working on taking that away from them, hopefully. And so I just wanted to kind of show, these are kind of the things that we give all of our Amazon accounts. All 120 of our Amazon accounts get these out the door. So we have our Morningstar base image, which is actually built monthly. We use Chef, Packer, and Terraform to do that. It's shared to all accounts in all regions. On completion of that build, developers could actually subscribe to an SNS notification, which would actually tell them, hey, the latest build is available. And if they're mature enough, they could actually hook into that process and have a scheduled time where they could actually build their application with the new AMI without really ever having to do anything. That image has our configuration tools built in. It's CIS hardened, it's patched, and it's not dependent on AWS generated keys for authentication, which means we don't have to play where's the key anymore. We don't have to play which developer lost the key. For the networking, we kind of control the VPC, the subnets, and all on-prem connectivity by default. The security features that we all enable is we have CloudTrail that goes in from all of our team accounts. That goes into a central bucket inside of one of our central accounts. So every single account's CloudTrail logs going to an S3 bucket that we suck up and then we do things with. We have their VPC flow logs. We have guard duty logs. We have their base NACLs. And we have, again, that federated login. On top of that, we have some reactive infrastructure monitoring and alerts. So kind of that classic SOC that Ricardo was talking about. So all of our, like I said, all of our team counts, they have their CloudTrail, goes into our centrally managed S3. Those S3 logs, or that S3 bucket pumps into Splunk. And then that Splunk instance generates alerts that then go to our traditional SOC to, manage. So someone makes an AMI public. We don't want that to happen because, like I said, we have all these things that are proprietary to us. We don't want that AMI to be out in the public. So if we see that get made open to the public, someone needs to get on the phone and start calling some people, make that get away. If people turn off our CloudTrail, obviously we're then blind to the account. We don't know what's happening. So we need to make sure that that's getting blocked as well. Root logins. We actually take away our root account and throw away the key. So if that happens, we definitely want to know about it. And that's just, I think, like a number of the reactive and kind of old style alerts that we do. But, we don't really care about that anymore. Like this is the cloud now. We need to be prepared and we need to stop kind of reacting, right? We need to be proactive. That's old SOC shit. So this is our proactive monitoring workflow now. This particular workflow is for our AMI scanning and monitoring tool. So what we have here is we have a team account and then we have our cloud services account. Someone in our team account will, say spin up some random AMI. CloudTrail will track that. It'll send and fire off a CloudWatch event, which then goes to an SNS alert, which triggers a Lambda. That Lambda will then analyze that and say, hey, do I care? Do I care that this happened? And if it does care, in this case it definitely does, it will then run some step functions on that AMI. It'll ask that AMI, hey, who are you? Who is your daddy? What does he do? What's your parent AMI? If it's built off of our parent AMI, it leaves it alone. It's cool. If it's not, then it's going to auto-terminate. We do have exceptions. We get that sometimes there's black boxes that you have to deploy and you can't always control that. But largely, that's it. We do have code. Look, it works sometimes. This is AMI scanning still. Basically, we go through our VPCs for every single VPC in an account. We get all the instances. And then in those instances, we say, is this one of the AMI images that we expect to see, or a parent of? I think that right now we let the last 4 months of AMIs be valid. So you basically have 4 months to get off of an old AMI. Those AMIs are obviously still patched the old way while they exist, but we do not allow an AMI to be long-lived in the cloud environment. That's not the cloudy way. Another thing that I'm really excited about, because this is one of my biggest qualms about cloud talks, is I feel like a lot of cloud talks I've gone to ended in, the main point is don't make an S3 bucket public. And I hate that, because you can tell every single person that all you want until you're blue in the face, they're still going to make that public. If security education was all that was necessary, half of us would not be employed. So, same kind of thing as the AMI scanning. We go through and say, here are all the buckets. Is it public? Is there an exception? If there is an exception, then we use our API to basically find the owner of that account, and then we cut a ticket for that person, say, hey, we found this public bucket, we turned it off, do you need this? If they do need it, then they say yes, and it goes through exception process. If it's approved, then we never bother it again. So how does that actually look? So if I'm, Davey developer, and I just need to build an instance. I don't care what it is. I don't care what it's set up. I just need this server, and I need it now. I don't care. I'm not going to tag it. Security groups, sure, let's open it to the internet. Why not? Cool. Oh, this key? I probably don't have this key, but let's do it. Let's do it. Let's just go with it. So now let's look at this. This is how it looks to our developers, basically. We're building this. It's spinning up. Still spinning up. These things take a little while sometimes. Still up, shutting down. What is happening? My server. Uh-oh. Nastygram. Terminated. That's a minute. A minute after it comes up. It can't even actually barely make a connection before it's gone. There's their nastygram. Hey, why are you doing something stupid? We know it was you. We know this is what you did. We know that's what you built. And we terminated it successfully. Here's this documentation that I know you're not going to read. Don't do it again, please. But if you do, same thing. So we have some other ideas that we want to keep elaborating. We want to keep building on this. And that's something I really want to point out. It's the way we've made this is it can be very modular. So, like I said, a lot of our, right now, manual processes, we want to make those automated. When an AMI is made public, that's obviously very kind of a sensitive thing for us. We want to get that non-public as fast as possible. So that's a huge one for us. If someone turns off our CloudTrail, again, we're blind to that account if that CloudTrail gets modified. And we can't really take away their permissions to touch CloudTrail because they might have legitimate reasons to use their own CloudTrail. So it's a bit of a double-edged sword there, and that kind of comes back to that shared responsibility model. Creation of roles and permissions. IAM is obviously a huge part of Amazon. If you've ever been in it, we can't take that away. We can't take that away from people. And what that means is that they can also create their own roles and permissions to stop or to circumvent our controls. And we've seen it happen a lot. Oh, I tried to put this firewall in. It won't let me. Well, I'll give myself firewall access, and then I'll do it. So if we can stop that from happening, we can stop yelling at people and, I don't know, drink more Malort. Now, I wouldn't normally talk about cost, but when your cost looks like this, I think it's worth talking about. So there are a couple vendors who actually do this kind of stuff. And vendors can be useful if you're utilizing multiple clouds. However, when we were looking, we found that a lot of their costs were to the tune of $100,000 a year plus a percent of your Amazon monthly spend per account. We have 120 accounts. That's a lot of cash. Our solution, that's our scanning solution. This runs out of one account, and it scans all 120 plus of our accounts for that much a month. So there's about $152 worth of shared costs. That's like your NAT gateway, your Kinesis, your RDS. A lot of that, some of that is kind of just cost of doing business, cost of having an Amazon account. Some of that is actually attributed to the scanner as well. That's why we put it as shared. Then there's direct scanner costs. So Lambda, $2.22 a month. CloudWatch, $1.31 a month. DynamoDB, $2.83. All these things, we process 20 million CloudTrail events a day. 120 accounts, 20 million CloudTrail events a day get processed through this. So it runs, and it runs a lot. But, 186 a month, 100K a year. I don't know what 6% of 186 is, but it doesn't really matter if the flat is 100K a year. So, shared costs 152, direct costs 34, final costs 186. Getting emails from your developers when you immediately kill their instances, priceless.
Thank you, Matt. Really appreciate it. Thanks for the overview. Just want to provide a high-level summary. Why we did this is really to identify how, as long as you learn what cloud environment and do the investment up front, you can build these controls yourself. It's not overly complex. It's having the time and effort to understand your environment and what your actual scope is. Those third-party tools are fantastic. I'm not going to knock them. They are expensive. They provide pretty graphs, but you can do that too. And I really want you guys to understand the environment you're walking into and know that you can do this yourself at a reasonable cost. And being CISO, I have to pay the bill. So I absolutely love this. And I want Matt to talk a little bit about the education, and then we can close out.
I've said it before. I'll say it again. You've heard it before. You'll hear it again. Security education, it's obviously important. It's number one. Phishing, all that good stuff. You need to educate your users. But as you know, they're not going to listen to you. And like I said, if they did listen, we would not be here. We would not be this industry that we are. So prepare yourself for that. You need to be able to actually respond to these things when they don't listen to you, preferably in an automated way. We want you to be part of the same environment that your developers are going to be in. That's why I prefer building this ourselves. We actually learn so much by doing this, whereas if we just deploy some tool, and a number of those tools actually pretty much deploy the same kinds of things that we build, then, what are you actually learning? Learning new tools, actually, Ricardo told me this yesterday. Getting put in front of a new tools isn't growth. You don't learn anything by that. There's a reason that these things can be kind of handed off and offshored so easily. New tools, that's nice, but getting in there and actually building it yourself, that's what's important. You know that they're going to do stupid shit. You need to know how to prepare yourself for that stupid shit. So we're here to help. If you have any questions, we'd be happy to answer them. Thank you.